Hi everyone. I'm excited to be here today to talk to you about some of the miracle stories that are happening right here in our own city, in our own state, every day. My name is Tony Kausha, and the title of our show is Tony's 50,000 Coincidence Miracles. Please note, this show is not about religion, and we're not trying to change anyone's religion, and we're not trying to get you to join any religion. It's just about miracle stories. I don't know of any religion on the planet that doesn't talk about miracles. That's why religions begin, because they have something that's telling them there's really a God. But we're not going to get into that. We're going to just talk about miracles and leave the decisions about all that up to you. So we don't care what religion you are. We just want to talk about miracles. If you are an atheist, I think you'll enjoy the program as well, although I can't guarantee you'll remain an atheist very long after you hear many convincing stories, coincidence kinds of stories about miracles. You can email me your own stories if you wish. We'll try to use all we can on the show. I can't guarantee we will, depending on volume and time, but you're welcome to send your stories on to us, and we will mention them when we can. You can send them to the following email address. But please notice that if we do use your story, we won't mention your name. We'll keep you anonymous. And we suggest that in your story, when you send it to us, don't use your correct name. That way anyone listening will not be able to figure out that it was you that sent the story in. The email address you can send your stories to is very easy to remember. It consists of 2 words and 3 numbers. The first word is Tony, spelled Tony, and the second word is and, spelled AND, and the numbers are 777. So once again, the name is Tony and 777 at AOL.com. Well, let us begin. The following story is pretty amazing, and I hope it convinces anybody who's doubting coincidence miracles do happen to us. I hope this story convinces you. You might want to reach for a paper and pencil and keep it handy while we're going through this. So this miracle story goes back to August of the year 2022. I've only gotten around to posting it on our shows just now, but it happened back in August of 2022. What happened was one day I was inspired. I was praying about what to do one day, and I was inspired to go to a certain particular beach in Connecticut, a specific beach. And so I took off. My mission for the day was to bring our business cards and some copies of our book and go to the beach and walk along and talk to people who wanted to talk and promote our books and promote our website. To try to convince people that they can have coincidence miracles every day, often every day, if they follow the process. And I've been doing this for 50 years, so I have a lot of things and a lot of examples I can give people. So it's one of my special missions at the moment in my life to do that, to help as many people as possible to experience coincidence miracles every single day. So I got in my car and I took off to go to the beach I was inspired to go to. And when I got to the place, it was quite a long drive, but when I got to the place and I was pulling off the interstate highway, I noticed the car in front of me had a license plate number 888, and I also noticed that a car passed me at the same moment I was at the exit to get off the major highway, and I was ready to pull off, but I saw a car passing me. It also had 38s. So please understand, I was following a car with 38s on its plate, and another car was passing me with 38s, and it's a very significant part of this story because 38s in history, as our book explains the meaning of numbers and many other things, but the book explains that 38 is the number historically used to signify the holy name of Jesus. So I was excited. I prayed for wisdom about what to do, and I'm doing it. And at the final exit of an hour's drive, I'm following 38s, and 38s is passing me. Now, if you're not into numbers, just be a little more patient now and listen to the rest of the story. So I get to the beach, and as I typically do, as I walk out on the beach, I'm going to start passing out cards. I ask God to inspire me. Should I go left or right? Or should I go close to the water or not close to the water? And I pray for wisdom about that. I get an inspiration about which way to go. And then I look, there may be 4 or 5 blankets in front of me, and I have to decide where to go first. So I ask God to inspire me which blanket to go to or which person to go to first. And so I did all of that, and I got inspired to go over to a blanket where turns out, there were 4 people there, college students. And I just do my typical thing. I pass out the card. I tell them what's about. I tell them about our books and our radio show. It takes about maybe 60 seconds to just get them to know that much, and then ask them if they have any questions, etc. Well, this group of 4 college students, they had a lot of questions, and I was delighted about their questions because I could tell they were serious-minded. They wanted to be convinced, actually, that they could experience coincidence miracles, and they wanted to know how they could start right away doing that, and I answered all of their questions. And I only offer the book and our website as an afterthought, really, because, the message is very simple, and I can do it in like 5 minutes' time. The book is to give abundant evidence. Each book has 100 miracle stories in it, and that's the reason for the books, is to convince people of what I keep telling them in my 2 or 3 minute presentation. So if they would just listen to my 3 minute presentation, they wouldn't need to read the book. But anyway, the books convince people that they really can get miracles every day. So I did that. Now, one of the 4 ladies was very skeptical. She was asking negative questions. I could see the look on her face. She wasn't buying it. And so when I got done, I said, "Are there any other questions?" And she piped up and said, "I don't have any more questions. I'm really concerned because I've lost my faith in believing. Over the last 3 years, I've had some prayers and I've needed some things. And over the last 3 years, I really don't believe anymore that prayer works. I don't believe that God pays attention to all of the minutiae in our life, as you pointed out. And I don't think he's that interested in us based on what's happened to me over the last 3 years." And I said, "Well, is there something else I can do? Can I answer a question? Can I try to be helpful? Because I've got 50 years of miracles happening, and you don't believe in miracles, so maybe I could say something valuable." And she said, and I was amazed, she said, "Well, tell me about a miracle you've had today." So that was a pretty significant question, because maybe the miracle I had today wouldn't be valuable to her. She might snicker at it. So I said, "Well, let me tell you what happened to me as I was getting ready for my day. I prayed for wisdom. I asked what to do. I got inspired to come to the beach today. I asked him which beach to go to. I got inspired, and I asked God, that's who him is. And I told her the story. When I got off the highway, I saw the 3/8, etc. Well, her eyes got watery, and she looked like she was suddenly now paying a lot of attention to what I was saying, and she was shaking her head. So I finished my story, and I said, "Was that helpful?" And she said, "Well, let me just say this." And she lifted up her arm and showed me that on her arm she had a very large tattoo, and the tattoo was the number 888. Now, in case you missed it because you weren't listening, maybe you didn't hear the beginning of the radio show, I saw the number 3/8 on the way down as I was getting off the highway. I was in back of a car with 3/8, and there was a car with 3/8 passing me at the same moment. And so the fact that this woman who was negative about miracles and started to disbelieve in God over the last 3 years, she had a tattoo that she had put on her arm years ago, and she was showing it to me. So I knew this was a coincidence miracle, and I hope you can see it was a coincidence miracle, because her blanket where she was the first blanket I was giving a card to on this particular day. So luckily, fortunately, providentially, I asked her, "What does the number on your arm mean?" And she said, "Well, in my life, I've seen the number 888 very, very often in my life." And she said, "I had something significant happen to me on August 18th in the year 2018, which was 4 years earlier. And so that's why I had the tattoo put on, to remind me of that significant event. So I'm sharing with you folks out there that this affected her greatly, and she told me so. She said, I have no doubt that Jesus sent you to this beach today because we just arrived, and so if we came an hour later, we wouldn't be seeing you. And the fact that you saw 3/8 coming to the beach today is very much signifying that God sent you to the specific beach at this particular moment. Now, if you didn't hear this whole message, you can go to our website and you can listen to this message again based on the date, today's date, because the shows are listed on our website by date. And you can listen to the whole thing again, and hopefully you'll be convinced by the story that this woman was very blessed. And all of us can be blessed if we keep asking God to inspire us about what to do and do what He inspires us after we ask Him. We will all be getting coincidence miracles, I have no doubt about it. Our website is wcatradio.com/miracles/ and you can find it if you just Google the title of our book. Just Google Tony's 50,000 Coincidence Miracles. If you Google that, you'll get to our website where you'll see WCAT Radio. So once again, just Google the title of our book, Tony's 50,000 Coincidence Miracles, and you'll see WCAT Radio. To click on that, and you'll be able to listen to this recording again. Our next coincidence miracle happened at the same time on the same beach, because there was a woman there. I think she looked to me like maybe 25 years old. She had overheard what just happened, and she heard enough of it to come over and ask me more about the book, and she was very tearful. She told me that her family is very distraught because her father had developed an infection in his mouth, which somehow spread to the brain, and now he's in a convalescent home, and they're expecting very little. They have very little hope that he's going to survive. I don't know more than that to tell you, but she was very, very tearful and choked up, and she said, my family is so distraught. There's 3 siblings and my mom, and my dad's mom as well. They're just uncontrollably crying all the time. So how do I get a copy of your book? She said, I want to bring one home as soon as possible and hopefully help my mom and my siblings to have hope. I just heard your story, and I certainly have hope in prayer. So where do I get a book? And as soon as she said that, I got an inspiration that just came into my mind. Tony, give her a free copy and autograph it for her mom and her siblings. So I was inspired to do that and give it to them, and I'm sharing this with you. I hope you can take on the emotion and the feeling of the moment. She just overheard the story of the other 4 people and about the 3/8, and it catapulted her to get up and come over and talk to me, a stranger, and ask. And she's so passionate about trying to help her mom and her siblings with all the family sadness that I couldn't resist giving her a free copy and autographed it. I'm glad I did it. I haven't heard anything yet. I gave her my email, and I'm hoping to hear some favorable response. I certainly have her family in my prayers. I hope you can all see why I continue to pass out cards at the beach and evangelize, because the process makes so many people so happy and delighted, and they come to a point where they believe in God. I really can't resist, and I get blessed very often by doing this. You can Google the title of the book and get a wealth of information. Just Google Tony's 50,000 Coincidence Miracles. Once again, Tony's 50,000 Coincidence Miracles. God bless you all. I will talk to you again next week, and I wish you all coincidence miracles every single day between now and next week.